got a call up. I think Lynn Azoni called him and said, "You in the team to tour Australia." Well, before I broke down, I screamed. And we live in a resident area. I'm sure many people might have heard what I said. And yeah, I broke down, but it was tears of joy. But most importantly, it was tears of hard work that I felt for him. He was a very domesticated person and very quiet. But when it came to the activity and training and all that, he was superb. He didn't shy away from anything that was there. And I, being kind of a slave driver, I pushed him to the limit, but he never just backed down, never backed down. Yeah, I think we watched a movie sometime. I guess,
Dennis the Menace.
Yeah, Dennis the Menace down the workshop here. So after watching me coming down the escalator, I don't know what got into his head. He pressed the button, everybody stopped. I wonder what happened here. Yeah, so midway down the journey, that was it. Yeah, quite a few things, but other than that, no, I would say it's awesome kid. That what happened in 92 series at this very stadium, where I was in contact with the Indian team. And as a result of an invitation given to me, I attended a gala dinner. And through chatting, I met an important person. Firstly, it was Pravin Amre, who was a sailor's colleague, and that sailor used to come to my home regularly. So he said, "No, meet Pravin Amre and he'll help you along." And I was fortunate enough to have Sachin as well, so took a photograph there. Incidentally, talking about Kiran More. And as we met with the team, Kiran More came to the fore, and I introduced myself, and I invited him home over for tea, and he obligingly did. And the next day, we stood at a family to take out a family photograph. And Keshav was a little boy standing there, so I said, "Kiran, this is my son." And Kiran took his hand, looked, studied carefully, and he said, "You will be a cricketer." And thereafter, it was all history.
Unfortunately, no, I was too young to remember that. But yeah, Kiran Bhai is very close to me. I met him a couple of years when I went to India. He's still like a father figure to me when I'm abroad. So yeah, very privileged and humble to interact with someone of his stature and caliber. At a young age, and probably when I reached the age of 12 to 13, because you were entering high school, I chose to pursue the cricketing route and never look back. I still love to play football, but obviously you got to be careful because of injuries and things like that. Yeah. But I know one day I will get back to my football days.
It's the same pathway. I was a footballer basically, and I started cricket very late. And thereafter, once I made the franchise team as well, then he became very interested. And we'll never look back. I know when I used to play and the times when I was out or waiting for my inning, I used to be coaching him full time in the nets there. So yeah, I don't think he missed a session, neither did I. I think it struck me first when he started to make the provincial schools team. And he was ahead of himself in terms of, he always played, in his age group, he was 2 years behind. And that's what, brought him to, became in the forefront of the radar. And at that stage too, I never actually pushed him. We looked at it as a journey. So if anything came by the way, it was accepted by us. But we didn't falter in any way to say, no, this is it. So we continued all that way. Then in 2012, when I went up to England on a university tour, and I visited him in England. And there again, we had a chat, looked at him, he was looking a little kind of skinny, so I took it for granted that, this boy means business. And we had a little discussion, and he said, "No, Dad, I want to make cricket my career." I said, "No, I'll support you all the way, and the day you tell me you've had enough, we'll just call it quits." So on his return journey, I had to pick him up at the airport. It took me some while to identify where my son was, because he looked absolutely scrawny. And I think he must have lost about 16 or 17 kgs. So it was. From that time onwards, I think we never looked back. He changed his whole perspective on life. His eating pattern changed, his training patterns changed, and his cricket became more serious. And that's where he is today.
Yeah, definitely. Everywhere you go, people always say your dad was better than you. And I do believe it because I can see the skill factor even at his age. I guess I'm living his talents, I mean, he's dreamed through my own talents, obviously a lot of my family as well. So yeah, he's definitely my biggest inspiration. He's always been a role model. He's been the person that's taken me under the wing and sheltered me from various storms along the way. It hasn't been an easy journey, that I can tell you. It's been a tough journey. There's been a lot of tears, but amongst that, there's been a lot of upsets, but more especially triumphs during that time. And a lot of emotion. I think whenever I play, I'm always an emotional person, because you look back and you sort of understand the journey of hard years of work that I've come through in getting to where I am. And I'll probably say I was the fastest in the school. I enjoyed seam bowling, and being a rebellion, decided one day to bowl spin and never looked back.
I knew exactly what spinners do, and while he used to practice his seam bowling, I just give him a bucket of balls just to turn, feel how it goes. And sooner or later, or should I say, earlier than I thought, he said, "Dad, I'll give up this seam bowling. I'm into spin bowling." And from that day on, we never looked back. Yeah.
Look, obviously it starts with the upbringing from the parents, but I think the guidance from God has given me a sense of calm when I needed to. I'm very aggressive in my own way that a lot of people don't see, and I prefer not to see that side of me. But yeah, I think my biggest aggressive is that I'm fighting with myself to be the best that I can be on the field and off the field as a leader. I know what it's like as a youngster coming up and looking up to idols. So, always try to emulate myself. Locally, Hashim Amla is very close to me. I've always tried to, model myself on the way he keeps a sense of calm. But one of my biggest idols, and I'm a massive fan of Rahul Dravid. He's a legend of the game. Probably doesn't get the recognition for what he's done in the game in terms of the numbers that he's put out, and he's such a humble, pleasant man on and off the field. So always try to look up to him as an individual, the way he carries himself. I think it's important that when you come back, you need to inspire the next generation, not just through your cricketing talent, but also through life skills and how you approach things.
No, he was in Cape Town, and he gave me a call. He says, "Dad, the selector of convener of selectors wanted my passport." So I said, "Okay, that's good news." And well, at that moment, I didn't react in the way that he probably would have reacted. I said, "No, let's just wait. When you really get a call up, then it will be an awesome day." And I think it was 2 days later, he got a call up. I think Linda Zondi called him and said, "You in the team to tour Australia." And yeah, it was a landline call. So he on the other side and me on this side, well, before I broke down, I screamed. And we live in a resident area. I'm sure many people might have heard what I said. And yeah, I broke down, but it was tears of joy. But most importantly, it was tears of hard work that I felt for him.
To realize that, this is realities that set in, yeah. But having said that, I never thought I'd play. I thought I'm just being a part of the squad. Maybe they're taking an extra spinner and what have you. And yeah, little did I know, on the 3rd of November, I was going to be making my debut. And it was actually a weird situation because we played a warm-up game and I was batting and I got injured. And I thought, oh gosh, this is my opportunity done. And fortunately enough, with good medical staff within the environment, got me back. And I remember bowling in a warm-up game against, I think it was Western Australia, if I'm not mistaken. And I bowled really well. It's probably one of my better spells I've bowled in a long time. Yeah, and 2 days later, guys are talking, "Oh, you're going to play." And it still never happened until Hashim Amla handed me my cap. I still got the speech that he said to me. And yeah, like that, I broke down into tears. You look back as a kid, you look at memories, you look at dreams that, you always have aspirations to play for South Africa. But realistically, you may not get there, but it's something to propel you in the right direction. And to be living that dream now, I'm very fortunate and blessed. And it's important that from that point of view, I always respect the game and always take every opportunity and not take cricket for granted. Because cricket's a leveler. And if you don't respect the game, it won't respect you. So yeah, it was very emotional. Every time I play for any team, I play for the team with pride and passion. I'm always there to give my 100%. Otherwise, I'll be honest, the day that I stop playing with 100% intensity, I have to walk away. Because of the years and years of service that cricket's given to me, it's only fair that I walk away the day that I don't want to give my fully committed performances.
I think firstly, you got to love the game. And when you love the game, one would do anything to get to a position that you want this. And I think the dedication, commitment, is very, very important, and that can only develop from a very young age. And the interest must always be there. And I believe in setting yourself little goals. Like I said, it's a journey and not a destination. If you are starting up saying, I want to play for India or play for South Africa, then I think you're somehow taking the wrong route. But it is a process. It's lots of sweat, tears and joy. And I just think that as long as you are geared and you're focused, that will take you to a destination that you are willing to achieve. Yeah, he just got married. No. Listen, I wouldn't set milestones for him. I think on this journey, like I said, we're not talking destination. He still has a couple of good years ahead of him. And if in the journey he can reach milestones, that will be awesome for him. As much as I would feel proud that, you know what, he's doing this in his own sense, not worried about the end result. And for me, end result will be, if he can always be on the winning side for his team and country, that will be a very good achievement for him as such.